What is up, Saber fans? This is Gibson here from Saber Supply. Today I'm going to do a quick preview and a bit of an instruction on how to handle the Darth Maul double-bladed lightsaber eco version. Okay, as you can see, this saber is huge, so I will not be able to preview the saber as is. I will remove the coupler so I can then show you guys one saber at a time instead of in a full staff. So in order to change the configuration to single saber lightsaber, you want to just undo that that coupler by turning it like so, and then just be sure to keep this in a place that you won't lose it. I'll go through how you should handle the coupler setup later. Okay, so as you can see, this double-bladed saber can be converted to two single lightsabers, like so. This eco version means it will have some inaccuracy to the movie prop, but that inaccuracy is very subtle, and that's why I decided to sell this saber in my shop. The inaccuracy I mentioned is the two buttons right here. If you check out the 89 Sabers version of this lightsaber, you notice that these two buttons should be like a window with bezels, and that a light will shine through it. But in this version, those are replaced by these two buttons. I think that's a very neat design because it's more subtle to handle the buttons on the side rather than these two big buttons. It's very beautiful. And this one also has a nice feature. It allows for a shine through effect through that cutout over there. So when the saber is ignited, you see the light shine through that window as well. And also included is this static blade plug. I really like this blade plug because it kind of gives a static movie prop feel to it. You also have another blade plug included in the box, but the other one is for aesthetics. If you ask me, I think I like this static blade plug much better than the other one. Alright, so when it comes to handling the saber, this one will not have a kill key configuration, so both the buttons will work out of the box. This is the activation button, and this is the auxiliary button. Nice shine through effect. A nice sound when it holds.
Dark Sith Red. What do you want? Your head. Electric acid. I think a lot about medicine, see.
So this saber is a bit tricky when it comes to chassis removal. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the process. So just do it. I'll get this one out of the way for now. Alright, so basically these are just thumb screws, so you can remove it. Just remember the positions of the thumb screws on the hilt. You will not want to misplace it. Although all these thumb screws are all interchangeable, but if you want to keep the movie accurate look, you will want to remember the order of those buttons. Just go ahead and remove all the thumb screws. Alright. And the rest will require me to remove my gloves, because you gotta remove that buttons. Also these dummy buttons by unscrewing it. And this part can be unscrewed to remove as well. And again, you want to make sure that all the O-rings, they are not glued in, so they can be removed. Just a tiny force to it. So be sure to keep it in place. You don't want to lose it, because without the correct amount of O-rings on this hilt, it will not be as accurate, it will not be as beautiful as it could have been. And this part can be removed as well by undoing it, like so. Okay, so I will go ahead and remove the gloves so I can handle the next steps better. Alright, so you want to unscrew the button, like so. Try to remember the order of the buttons, so when you put it back, it will be in the place that it used to be. Alright, so that's almost all of it. You also need to remove, you also need to remove that retention screw over there. The retention screw over here works as chassis retention, so just remove that and you'll be able to push the chassis out of the hilt. So just take your time, since this involves quite a few steps. You want to just take your time, do not rush it. Alright. Oh, and by the way, all the O-rings you see here will be included in the box. It will not be installed as you see here, but it's pretty straightforward. You just kind of put it in to places. Yeah, it's not hard at all. So now that the retention screw has been removed, you can just remove this pommel by use your two fingers like so, and turn it counterclockwise until it's entirely removed from the bottom part of the hilt. You can also use a plier to help you out, but two fingers will do as well. So if you're more comfortable using the fingers instead of using tool, then you should be fine. Okay, now you can remove it like so. And then you see the chassis handle. You will not want to pull it, you want to press it so that all the chassis will come out from the top. Okay. Alright. Now you got your chassis. You will see that you will not be able to access the Profi board without first removing the screws over there. There are 4 of them. So just remove those screws and you should be able to just pop out this part of the chassis and have an access to the Profi board for blade configuration in case you would want to. This part is only for charging, so you won't have to remove the battery. And just keep in mind that this port should only be used for charging using your laptop or PC. Do not plug it into a phone adapter or something. Just you need to charge through PC or your laptop only. If you want to charge your battery with a wall adapter, you want to remove the battery and then use the included charger that I include in the box. Alright, so that's how to remove the chassis. And to put it back, you just reverse all the steps that I did earlier. But this time you would just want to insert it from the bottom instead of from the top. That would be easier. And make sure to align those buttons with these cutouts, because you want to insert the chassis so that these 2 buttons are directly underneath these 2 cutouts. Just insert it from the bottom like so, and then just make sure the buttons are directly underneath these 2 cutouts. And you also notice that through this retention screw hole, you also notice that the screw hole of the chassis will be seen right underneath this retention screw hole. That's when you know that the chassis is well aligned with the hilt. Now you can insert the retention screw for the chassis. You will not want to put it too deep inside, because that way it will separate the screw from the hilt, and the chassis could potentially be moved around inside the hilt. You want to screw it just enough so that the screw is somewhere between the screw hole of the hilt and the screw hole of the chassis. I think that's deep enough, so you can insert the red thumb screw in this process. Here we go. And insert back the buttons. You will not want to screw it too tight, because it could cause the buttons to be pressed and hold all the time by the screw. You want to just screw it tight enough so that it won't rattle. That one, it's a bit tight.
Smooth fuzz.
Okay, so the button won't rattle and
Smooth grip.
the button is now working properly. Alright. So go ahead and insert all the thumb screws back into place.
A few moments later.
Alright, so now I want to talk about another important technique when converting these two lightsabers into a staff. You will notice that in the first try, all the buttons won't line up correctly. It will require some adjustment, which I will show you in a second. So when you couple those two saber up, by doing so, it will not align perfectly at first, and that could be really annoying. But there's a nice feature called a clock adjustment ring over here. You can adjust it until the sabers can be screwed in and the buttons are aligned perfectly. So if you see that your sabers aren't aligned correctly, you want to remove one saber first, and then you want to just turn the ring part right here, and then you'll be able to adjust the clocking of the thread of this lightsaber. And when you are satisfied, you can just insert the sabers back on its coupler. You might need to do it a couple times until you find a perfect clock for the saber to align. So just take your time. If you notice that the buttons aren't aligned correctly, you just remove one saber and then adjust that clock adjustment ring a tiny bit, and then you insert another saber back to see if it's aligned. If it's not, then you would just want to repeat those steps a couple more times until all these buttons are aligned nicely. Alright, so that's about it, guys, for a quick preview for this Eco Maul double-bladed lightsaber. I hope you guys like it. I will do a separate video for a blade preview, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.